Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to hop into the GT Legendary Goku event, and we're going to take another category team into here and see how well it is going to perform. Here we are using the Defenders of Justice category team, right? Now, this category team is pretty solid. I probably could have even gone for like a little bit of some different variants here. There's definitely some, I think, other units that potentially could have been solid here, but I really did want to at least try and get this done with Jiren as well as the Topo/Pride Trooper unit, right? Like, when I initially did the video on LR Jiren in the GT Legendary Goku event, one thing was I was sort of testing how well he would perform for when I would jump into the Defender of Justice run, and he did pretty good. I mean, there are some other characters who potentially could have been good. Like, see, Dispo, the funny thing about Dispo, right, is that you can instantly look at him as a character that, you know, dodging is like the main part of defense for his kit and be like, oh, well, that's why Dispo's not really going to be too good here and stuff like that. But he does have that defensive effect on his super attack, which if the final, like, fight was not type disadvantage for him, Dispo could actually be an option, right? But because of that, he's just going to be completely unsuitable. I do think, like, high school Gohan, you probably could get away with bringing him in here. And, you know, I'm saying in terms of, like, a no-item run, too. Like, obviously, a lot of these characters, like, if you're going to use items, like, you could easily beat it with many of these characters, you know, even if they're not necessarily good for, like, long events. But, like, high school Gohan is capable of surviving, you know, very well in Extreme Super Battle Road, as well as the God event, right? So I do think that you would definitely be able to go away with high school Gohan. I do think the Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman potentially is another option that actually could be really solid here. Then obviously there's other options like, you know, like I could have rocked Casserole as well. Maybe rather than the Topo/Pride Trooper unit, Casserole would have been a bit of a better idea. The other thing too is that if I had brought Casserole, there would have gotten... What is Topo? Is Topo's ability, does it explicitly state 3 additional Universe 11 category allies, or just 3 in total? Yeah, it says when there's 3 or more Universe 11 category allies on the team. Oh, okay. So the way Topo/Pride Trooper works, right? He gets attack and defense at the start of turn. Then there's another 110% attack and defense if there's 3 Universe 11 category allies on the team. Then there's also the guarding with the Universe 11 category ally in the same turn. Because of that, I can't split Jiren and Topo up, so we have to rock with that rotation the whole way through. And then finally, he gives the Universe 11 support. I really should have added Casserole to the team here instead of maybe like the you know, Gohan SSR. Kabe might seem like a bit of an odd choice here, but like I sort of like have shown like how powerful the 2 STR supports are. Kabe with that 9-turn attack and offensive buff and, you know, creating rainbow orbs. Kabe is like our healer. It seems ridiculous, but, you know, getting all those STR orbs in front of him, Kabe's able to heal a ridiculous amount of health, right? Same thing with STR hit. So that's kind of my intention with Kabe, and the reason I leave him on that other rotation basically the entire fight is not only, you know, to keep that buff up with his attack and defense and 9 turns, right? Because when characters have, like, you know, certain turn durations for those buffs like that, you really do want to leave them on rotation. Now, Jiren eats a super attack from Great Ape Goku right here. Obviously, you know, many know that this Great Ape Goku is a real thorn in your side for taking down this event. That Great Ape Goku is very, very troublesome and problematic, right? But with some of these characters, we will be good. Okay, so, like, notice Kabe healed up right there, right? So, you know, by keeping him on rotation, we're going to keep that defensive buff consistent, and then he's going to be able to heal as he's creating SCR orbs, right? So that's going to help us out a lot. Now, Jiren, what's funny is that is not the only super attack that Jiren eats in this run. Jiren actually tanks several super attacks nicely, and then on account of Kabe creating so many SCR orbs, so he could then regen the HP for us, we're actually able to sort of like make it through, right? Despite the fact that we're taking these hits, like, you know, 300, 400k damage super attacks hitting Jiren, Jiren having such high defense, he's at least able to, like, you know, tank it a bit, right? And then with that, we are able to, like, then heal a lot of that health back with Kabe, which is good. Now, I probably don't really need to talk about the Tech Ultimate Gohans too much, right? Like, we know how ridiculous, you know, both of these Tech Ultimate Gohans are that we are using, right? Again, so this Tech Ultimate Gohan, you know, with his guard ability, he is absolutely tremendous, right? You know, he's going to be stacking, so he's going to be just a very, very impactful unit that we're going to be able to bring throughout this run, right? Now, I believe right there, I was just confirming Topo's ability, right? Because Topo is a character I've not used that much, just because I've not found myself using, like, the Universe 11, like, characters together since their initial release, right? Because me, like, I'm using a lot of characters based upon the new units that come out, right? Because I'm covering them. I'm doing videos on them and new events and stuff like that. So, like, a team like Universe 11 that's gotten literally nothing since LR Jiren has come out, I just have not really used that team since, right? Whereas, like, you know, like, a lot of these other teams, a lot of these characters around, I'm using them constantly. So, the reason, like, I had checked Topo's passive there to reaffirm what it said was that I knew I could not push Jiren off rotation right there. There's Kabe, again, healing ridiculously for us. Now, throughout the course of this run, because Videl doesn't really have any stacking abilities or anything like that, I have been sort of floating Videl off rotation really the entire fight. Now, Videl definitely will work a lot better defensively, at least in the final phase of the event, in either slot 1 or 2, because Videl's going to have her guaranteed double super attacks, which is going to give her 2 defensive increases, right? Because Videl increases her defense on super attack, so getting multiple of those obviously is very, very good. Now, Videl is going to be fine in the 3rd slot throughout the majority of this event, though, because Videl does have a high chance to dodge in the 3rd slot, right? So that's going to work out incredibly well for us. And then, okay, so here's where things get tricky. So, again, this is actually my first run. This only took 1 try, this Defender of Justice no item run here. But the way I built it, I have to keep these two together. Now, again, like, looking at it again, Casserole would have been a much smarter option to bring here over the Topo/Pride Trooper unit, because Casserole and Jiren would not need to remain on rotation together to be good, right? Because Casserole is a defensive stacking unit. So at this point, I could have swapped Videl and Jiren. Videl could have, you know, double super attacked, making her defense better. And then Jiren, you know, we could have floated him off, right? Now, Topo/Pride Trooper with guard will be able to tank fine, right? 127k from this level of opponent really is not that bad. The one thing that is unfortunate, however, is that this in Super Saiyan 4 Goku is immune to both attack debuffs and defensive debuffs. What that means is Jiren with this 8 million attack stat right here, if not for Goku being immune, obviously all tough bosses, still 1 million damage through type disadvantage is crazy, but all tough bosses are immune to having their attack lowered, right? That's just how it goes. But this Goku, they specifically made it so that he can't have his defense lowered either, which is not as common with major bosses. So with that, that keeps Jiren from being super effective against all types. If Goku could have his defense lowered, Jiren would have went from doing 1 million damage to like 3 million damage. Like, it would have been insane right there. He would have done so much damage. And again, Kabe, especially provided we're able to get him, you know, 6, 7 plus orbs, Kabe is completely fine as like a slot 1 defensive unit, even in here. The reason I float off the TUR, the one that will transform into Tech Ultimate Gohan, by the way, the reason he's the one I float off constantly and consistently is because he greatly stacks, and he's going to have his transformation. He's just infinitely more powerful than the SSR. By the way, notice Jiren did take a super attack right there, and we were able to just barely survive. And then with just a little bit of good RNG over the next couple of turns, we were able to make it through. But I was very surprised that Jiren actually ate a super attack by Goku, and it did not cause us to lose. Like, we actually did continue and be able to get the dub. You know, Gohan's defense has now gotten so high that just look how much he heals with these tech orbs. Like, it's so important, everything that Tech Ultimate Gohan is capable of bringing to the table, right? Now, I probably will transform with Tech Ultimate Gohan at some point once we reach Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or at least that was my intention, right? A full field of SCR orbs, we got lucky right there, and then boom, like now we're basically back up to full health, right? That's why these 50% supports can be so impactful. Hit and Kabe are like the best designed ones. Rildo is really good, you know, what's another really good one? Kid Gohan is another really good one that gets to sort of fulfill the same role that Kabe is right there, right? Like, some of them are just designed and stronger than the others, right? It's just how it goes. What else is there to talk about here? So Videl does have her costume change mechanic, by the way, but, I mean, I've talked about this many times that it's not really something I recommend busting out too often, because her costume change gives her a significant increase in damage. There's no doubt about that. Videl gets a lot of additional damage that she'll be able to do, because it's an active skill 20% attack buff that she then gains once you do the costume change. The problem is that she then lowers her defense as well. I mean, as you guys see, even though she's been only single super attacking basically the entirety of this event, look at how high her attack stats are starting to become, right? And like, I'm using her basically in a situation, like, it's completely not her best situation, by the way, right? Like, Videl, if you're running her in slot 1 or 2, she's going to be double supering every single turn. So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to have, 2 attack stats every single turn, basically. So by rocking Videl as a floater, there's a lot of, like, stacking attack we're not getting. Obviously, if Videl dodges an attack before she attacks, then she's also able to be super effective against all types as well. So, like, the optimal position for Videl is in slot 1, right? Because you can get extra attack if she's hit before she attacks, and super effective against all types if she dodges before she attacks. But the problem with that is that this guy cancels dodging, right? So, like, ideally, you would want to run Videl, like, in that first slot, but it's just not always that possible to get these things done. I was actually a little bit nervous. So, this is my... I don't think I was realizing at the time that this is my Videl, but I didn't really want to expose Videl to too many attacks in here, because, again, a large part of her defensive utility is the fact that she's dodging, right? It's not only that she has good defense, but then she gets defense on super attack, she's double supering, and then she's also got dodging. Like, add all that together, and it's really, really powerful, right? But again, this Goku cancels dodging, so that's like half of Videl's defensive ability just completely wiped away. So that's just like a very scary sort of thing to keep in mind when going through here. My rainbowed Videl is going to be fine, though. But it's the friend Videl. I believe the friend Videl was only 55% because, newsflash, Trunks and Goten, LR Tapion, and STR Videl are not exactly common on the friends list. You don't exactly see them very often. And when I say very often, I mean never. You just literally, like, never see them. They just don't appear ever. Like, it's very, very difficult to find those friends consistently, right? So, because of that, like, I was just in this with, like, a 55% friend. And I was nervous about her taking too many hits. Now, on this rotation, she'll be fine, because we do, of course, have Kabe around, who's going to help out a lot. And then, you know, there wasn't... I actually misplayed right there. I had meant to transform with Ultimate Gohan as soon as I got to this phase, but, like, I had already clicked the orbs, and I just didn't want to restart, so I was like, whatever, we'll just keep it going, right? Because remember that Ultimate Gohan, if you're fighting one enemy whose HP is above 58%, Ultimate Gohan is super effective against all types, right? Which definitely can be very helpful for taking this Goku down faster. But, like, Ultimate Gohan... you're not going to see his super effective against all types, I would say, for the most part, too often, right? Like, take, for example, the God event. In the God event, I doubt you're going to see Ultimate Gohan being super effective against all types, right? Because the God event, you're only fighting one phase, and Gohan can't transform until turn 5. So by the time you're at turn 5, Gohan is not even going to be able to, he's not going to have that super effective against all types. And then it's like, you know, you compare Gohan to some other units, like, I don't know, how about AGL UI Goku? By the time you get to turn 5, AGL UI Goku has killed the god of the... like, taken off 50% of his HP at least by himself. Like, the AGL UI and Int Blue Vegeta, like, them in the god event is crazy. Alright, so here we transform with Gohan, right? Now, Goku, I believe, still is above 58% HP, so we are going to get the super effective against all types from Gohan, at least for one turn right here. to provide for us some extra damage, right? Again, Videl's sort of costume change, like lowering her defense but increasing her attack, is not something I really plan on busting out. I think I do use her costume change at the very end, because I was comfortable that, like, you know, as long as like one of the units on the rotation was going to hit him, it was going to finish him off. And I do costume change with her, but she doesn't even get the attack in, right? Because, like, again, Videl's already doing so much damage, you just never need to pop that costume change. Like, it's like, I really think the way they designed it is actually kind of like, it's dumb. It just feels like something you just don't ever really have a reason to pop, right? Like, if it was the other way around and she lost attack but gained defense, I think that would make a lot of sense, and that's something I would go for. If it was that way, I would use it every single time in these Civ World events, right? Because Videl is stacking her attack anyway, right? To get the additional 20% active skill defense would be insanity. That would make Videl, I think, even better. Like, if she had extra defense from her active skill and not attack. Because, like, again, look at this. She's got a 5.3 million attack set right here. Like, again, it's not like we're really, like, putting Videl in a great situation. She's been in pretty much a shitty situation, like both Videls, the entire fight, right? And she's still putting up these very impressive numbers. It just goes to show how ridiculous she can be, right? So we're getting close to the end of the event right here. Again, really, as soon as I was able to make it past in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I felt pretty good, right? Because, like, I guess we even did get worst case scenario in that we took a super attack from Super Saiyan 4 Goku on Jiren, and we still were able to get the W, right? We still were able to survive, even getting super attacked by that in Super Saiyan 4 Goku on Jiren. So I definitely did that definitely did make me feel a lot better about Jiren, by the way, right? Like, that's definitely a pretty good showing by him, that we were able to just completely eat that super attack and then still continue on. Because Jiren took a super attack from a type disadvantaged Super Saiyan 4 stage in here, and he took the super attack from Great Ape Goku as well. So Jiren just took a lot of hits. Now, this was a scary situation right here. I was kind of like, the way the orbs were and then how low his health was, I was comfortable pushing Kabe off, but this ends up being a mistake right here because Goku actually super attacks at the end. And this SSR Gohan would have taken way less damage from this super attack than Kabe ends up taking right here, which just led me to being very nervous in this next turn, right? Because it just could have led to a situation where we could have actually died on this turn right here, right? Like, if Jiren would get super attacked right here, like, we would be dead. If Jiren or Videl would get super attacked on this rotation, we would be dead. And this is Videl without Kabe on rotation, so, you know, she's not going to get that extra 50% defensive buff. She's not going to be in slot 1 or 2 to double super attack to get multiple defensive buffs. So this was just overall a very actually scary turn. Yeah, I see. It actually does make sense to me right here. Oh, okay. No, I don't use the costume change mechanic. Okay. It must be the one on the next turn then, because I was going to say, I do think if I had used the costume change mechanic on Videl right there, she would have finished this Goku off, but Goku can dodge. That's the one thing about it, right? Like, you're not guaranteed that your attacks are going to connect. And the thing is, if I used Videl's costume change right here, and we did not finish Goku off, then it was instant death. Because, again, she completely neuters her own defense when we pop that active skill. 6 million she gets up to, huh? And her active skill, or her unit super attack condition is so easy to do, by the way. Just having a Gohan on team, simple. Yeah, so even in this situation, no support, basically no... I think the only link she has with Jiren is Fierce Battle, I'm pretty sure. Let me just quickly double check Videl. Yeah, they have Jiren, or they have, yeah, they have Fierce Battle, and I think he has Infighter. Yeah, so they have 2 attack links, Jiren and Videl. Infighter's 15% attack, and Fierce Battle's 20% attack. Those are the only 2 links they have. And Videl is still tanking double digits right there, which is definitely an impressive showing. Here, I was comfortable using her costume mechanic because, there, yeah, not only is there, like, I was positive we'd finish Goku off unless he dodged every single attack right here, but it also was a thing where she's not even going to take hits. So this was really a perfect opportunity to go ahead and bust it out. So let me know what you guys think of the Defender of Justice no item run here in the Legendary Goku event, the GT Legendary Goku event. After this, I probably want to do the Warrior of Legend category no item run. in the GT Legendary Goku event, because of course that is another one of the new categories. I'm just sort of doing these runs now for units that are going to be coming to Global, so Global players can sort of get, you know, more footage and a better idea of how good, like Videl, LR Tapion, Trunks and Goten, some of these units can look. Not only just, like, how good they are when you focus a team around them, but even, like, how good can they be when you're building a team for a specific purpose, which was no iteming this event, but you're not, like, you know, building the team around the leader themselves specifically, right? Like, Videl still performed ultra well, even though she was, you know, not the primary focus of this team. In terms of my link levels and equips, a lot of these characters are, you know, very well done. It's only, I guess Topo is pretty low link leveled. He actually would have been helped a lot by more link levels. It would have been easier with him done. And then my Kabe and my SSR Gohan don't have a lot of work done as well. So just continuing to pump out these no item runs with a lot of these characters not even fully done. I'm shaming my ancestors, my whale ancestors, not even being completely done with a lot of these characters. But hey, link leveling takes a long time. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time.